good morning from Reuters Events Pharma 2024 in Barcelona. I'm Patricia Sabinska, and I'm joined today by my guest, Stefan Oelrich. Bayer's member of the Board of Management and President of Pharmaceuticals. Welcome, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We have just listened to an amazing opening keynote presentation of yours where you were touching upon a couple of very interesting topics from pharma's role to advance healthcare through innovation, creating economic value and leading ultimately to a better patient access. So I would like to start by asking you, what does it really take for pharma to play a key role in the global healthcare ecosystems of tomorrow? What should we focus on?
Well, it's hard to put this into one sentence, Patricia, but when you think of pharma, we basically serve three, if you like, the 3 points of the triangle that I spoke to about this morning, which is innovation, and it's really the inception of, at the research base, when we translate academic knowledge for the most part into product. And then we need to actually industrialize this and scale it. And as you scale it, you create economic value for society, and which results in the monies that we can actually invest into health, and which gives access to patients of innovation. We very often fail to actually respect that health is not just a transaction where someone provides a product and someone else pays for it. It's more complex than that.
So you mentioned investment, innovation. There's a lot here that I would like to unpack. So where do you see the biggest potential for this breakthrough innovation for patients at the moment?
Well, we live at a time when the knowledge for in biological sciences, data science around health, and also even chemistry is sort of like seeing a new rise in terms of knowledge. We live at a time where this knowledge is exploding. Actually, the increase in knowledge now is faster than Moore's law on chips. So we're more than doubling our knowledge every year. And this will translate into new therapies. When you look at the problems in the world with an aging population, with a growing population, where disease is a clear burden to productivity, let alone everything that it does to people individually, then solving for these problems is one of the biggest challenges that the world is facing.
And you were on stage, you were talking about cell and gene therapy and how some parts of it, or maybe all, were science fiction a few years ago. Is there something in particular that you are the most excited about within the space?
Well, we've done a few acquisitions in this space, and one of the areas that excites me most is what can be done where you sort of like replace cells that have ceased to function with perfectly healthy new cells. We're going into phase 2 setting, clinical trial where we have changed defective neurological cells which cease to produce dopamine. We've added new cells which were based on pluripotent cells, pluripotent stem cells. We've added them to the brain. They've now been in most of these patients that we had in phase 1, a total of 14 patients for much over a year inside, and we're seeing that these cells have actually become functional. So they produce dopamine, and that gives hope that you can actually turn around a disease that currently leads to death. And when you think about the amount of people that are affected by this type of disease, it's amazing. Think about another area where we're about to go into the clinic, hopefully this year, is patients with a certain form of blindness that no longer have retinal cells in the back of their eye, and to just re-add those cells back into the body and make people see again. Those are things that are almost biblical in nature, and our industry has now been capable of actually making them a true option for patients in the future. Think of areas like Alzheimer's, where we're seeing therapies rising, but I think we're only scratching the surface.
So yeah, you said that the industry is capable, but we're scratching the surface. What are the key challenges we still have to overcome to advance these therapies and to make them accessible for patients?
Well, very, very early in the game. This is a nascent technology, and it will take time. So the biggest challenge is time, because we don't have time. I get emails, phone calls from patients that don't have the luxury of time. So the biggest challenge is time. I have no doubt that this will go in the right direction as time progresses. And the second challenge is obviously, as we look at our healthcare system today, it's compartmentalized between typically hospitals, the typical office-based doctors, then diagnostics, devices, pharmaceuticals, the whole trade, the whole insurance system. This needs to come together in a more unison way, and we need to look more holistically at the health challenges and also how we're going to maximize the value that we get out of solutions to treat people.
Okay, so cross-industry collaboration is what I'm hearing here, including the governments getting involved. How would you see that role, or are you happy with the situation now, the support you're getting? What could pharma do to become a better partner to unlock healthcare?
I think it's improving, but it's not where it's supposed to be. I gave the example of COVID, where we really had a holistic management, where also our partner in government was not just the health administration. Health administration very often see, for example, medicines as a cost factor rather than a value contributor. But when you talk to the heads of state, when you talk to the ministers of economic affairs or of industrial affairs, you get a sort of like more balanced view than just talking to the health side. And I think we need to take that holistic view. I'm seeing movement in a positive direction, especially in Europe as of late. But it's, again, they're only a very small plant that we need to grow further, and we need to continue to give it a lot of water and a lot of fertilizer to make it work.
So fast forward to 2030, we see this plant growing. Where do you see pharma's role? How would healthcare look like, according to you?
I think, and I had mentioned this, it's all about innovation. And so if you want to get the innovation to the forefront, pharma needs to play a major role. And it's not just large pharma, it's also small pharma, it's biotech, and it's an ecosystem that we need to continue to support. If you look at lately with the change in economics, with the rise of interest rates, biotech is struggling. And that has a direct effect on our ability to innovate. So we need to find ways to keep the capital markets dynamic so that there is enough funding for innovation, and large pharma plays a big role. If you take all of the efforts in terms of investment combined that big pharma is investing into R&D, I think that needs to continue to show even more productivity moving forward than what we've seen in the past.
So speaking of investment, what are the key investment areas at Bayer at the moment? Where are you guys focused?
So we're trying to move more and more into specialty pharma area and into high value medicines where the unmet need is the greatest. In our case, it's a clear focus on oncology, a clear focus on cell and gene therapies and rare disease. But it's also going into much more into immunology, and we've traditionally been a leader in cardiovascular, so we continue to operate there, and it continues to be the number one cause of death on the planet. So cardiovascular disease is not solved, not even by a mile.
Well, thank you so much. Do you have a message you would like to share with our audience today, with people here at the conference? Is there something in particular that you would like them to leave with?
No, I think this conference is always an opportunity to actually collaborate and to talk to each other. One of the most important things in healthcare is that people across sectors talk to each other, that they collaborate, because only when you work together you can actually achieve more than remaining in your silo. So this is a welcome venue for exchange. And ultimately, I think I said it at the conference, it's all about innovation. So we need to create an environment and where people talk about innovation and actually make innovation happen and bring this to patients, because patients deserve this. They deserve better.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Stefan. Thank you for listening. This is Reuters Events Pharma 2024.
Views expressed in this podcast are those of individuals being interviewed and do not reflect any company, parent company, or affiliates they represent.